excited to all be here as constituents of Congressional District 14. Yeah, we're here. We're here. We're feelings and thoughts. I'm Janice Robinson. I'm in Mecklenburg County, and my co-moderator here is
Justin Matthews.
Yay!
Hey!
Justin, you from which county? Okay, so we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we start with the Pledge of Allegiance together? Justin's going to lead us.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So, the order of what we're gonna do tonight. So we're gonna first start. In a minute, I'm going to pull up the instructions for all of you who want to share your thoughts and feelings to our honorable representative, Tim Moore. And then we're gonna have some community impact speakers to just kind of come up and share what's been happening in the community, to the communities that they represent. So, but let's start with some ground rules, okay? Okay, so this is when we get to constituent comment instructions. I'm an educator too, so you know about the instructions, right? I'm gonna read them now, and we're gonna read them again when we get started. So, first of all, if you would like to share comments, and you're more than welcome to, you're gonna line up on the left side at the time. We're gonna get to that phase in just a moment. You're gonna state your name, and state your county too, Julie, because I think it's about 6 counties that make up District 14. Team, is that what we figured out? But it's a planning team, and we all did this. You'll meet all of us in the end. Address your comments to Representative Moore, not to others in the room. It's your chance to let Representative Moore know your feelings and concerns, because we're going to be videotaping these and send them to it. Okay? If you do not want to be videotaped, you don't have to be. Just let Kay know to turn off the video. Okay? Speak your voice to Representative Moore. We're not going to tell you what to say, how to say it. It's your voice. Okay? Be respectful of others' voice. Okay? Let people speak how they want to. You will have 1 to 3 minutes. Please, don't feel like you have to use the whole 3 minutes, but please stick to time, and we will have a timekeeper, Lori, right here. And we want to make sure that we stick to time, so everybody who wants to share, they have a chance to share, okay? So let's be disciplined and stick to time. And the timekeeper will cue you when you're getting close to the time. I think, Lori, you're going to give them a 30-second warning.
1 minute and 30 seconds.
I'm sorry?
1 minute and 30 seconds.
They'll give you a 1-minute warning, a 30-second warning, and then stop. Yeah, I've done a lot of these in the past, and we're not going to let you hold the mic. I know how that goes. So he's going to be holding the mic. So when we say stop, you know, don't make us look like them again. Okay? So these are ground rules. And so I'm going to just go back to the blue screen. And Justin is going to bring up Sydney, who's going to introduce our community impact speakers.
You know, so Sydney Hutchinson is someone that I've got to know pretty well over the last year. She is a paralegal by profession and a community organizer. She is interested only in giving back to her community in any way that she can, and I'm sure she can tell you a little more about herself better than I probably can. So Sydney, if you will, come to take the mic away.
I know her really well, so I'm going to try not to pull your ears out here. So our first community speaker, we're going to be kind of talking about in different, aspects and kind of what the struggles that they're going through are. So I will let them speak to those themselves. But our first speaker is going to be Brenda Eskridge. She is the Gaston County Chapter NAACP Assistant Secretary, and she is going to be reading a statement on behalf of Tari Feimster. And I'm gonna let you go ahead and just introduce her because I know that y'all are friends and I think you can speak to her better than I can. So, Brenda Estridge.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to stand here in front of you again. My name is Brenda Estridge. To read the statement from Cherie Feenster, who is a trailblazer in the field of education, making an impact both locally and beyond. She serves proudly as the local president of the Gaston North Association of Educators and holds a seat on the board of directors for Gaston Community Action Head Start. So she truly cares and daily advocating for equity and advancement of public education, and she has a heart for service. So I will read her statement. Mr. Moore, and greetings to all. As we stand at a pivotal moment in our collective responsibility to safeguard the future of our communities, I write to express a growing concern regarding the proposed federal cuts to education and their far-reaching impact not only on our schools, but on our foundational well-being, on the foundational well-being of our local government and the families we serve. Federal funding plays a critical role in ensuring that all students, regardless of zip code, have access to high-quality public education. These funds support essential programs such as Title I for our most underserved schools, IDEA for students with disabilities, and professional development for our teachers. A reduction in these resources will really diminish or directly diminish our ability to meet the diverse needs of students and retain the very educators who are vital to student success. The ripple effects of underfunded schools reaches far beyond the classroom. When educational institutions are forced to cut staff, increase class sizes, or eliminate student support, it creates a strain on other public systems. Our local governments may face increased demands for social services, juvenile support programs, and public safety costs that could have been mitigated by investing in prevention through education. Some argue that public education systems offer too much, suggesting that families have, come to rely too heavily on the services schools provide. But the truth is, if public schools were no longer able to offer these essential services due to federal funding cuts, Mr. Moore, would our local governments be equipped or even prepared to take on that responsibility? The reality is that schools do far more than educate our students. They feed, counsel, mentor, protect, and support entire communities. Removing or reducing those services doesn't just impact schools, it creates a ripple effect that our cities and counties may not have the infrastructure or funding to absorb. Education is not merely an expenditure, it is an investment in the vitality of our workforce, the stability of our neighborhoods and communities, and the future leadership of this state. To ensure a thriving North Carolina, we must remain committed to providing our children with the resources they need to learn, grow, and lead. Sincerely, Cherie Feenster, Gaston County Educator, Local Gaston North Carolina Association of Educators President. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for doing that. So our next community speaker is Carlos Franco. I've had the pleasure of getting to know him over the last year, and he is a fierce advocate and activist for the immigrant community, being an immigrant himself. And thank you so much for coming here to speak to me, Carlos.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Moore. My name is Carlos Franco, and I am proud to live in this community in Cleveland County. I am an immigrant and came to the United States after fleeing an authoritarian country where people live in fear and the government had too much power over their lives, Mr. Moore. I came here because I believed in something better, in a country where everyone has rights and where the government serves the people, where freedom means something, Mr. Moore. But lately, I've been worried In Washington, they are pushing laws and policies that hurt immigrant families like mine, like the Aliens Alien Act, that will let the government go after people just because they were born somewhere else. Trial, no defense, just fear. That is not the America I believe in. And the truth is, this doesn't affect only immigrants, Mr. Moore. It affects all of us. Because if the government can ignore your rights based on where you are from, what stops them from doing it to someone based on how they look or what they believe in? I know families, working families, honest people who are afraid every day. They stay quiet, they try to be invisible, but they are part of this place, this community. We work in your stores, schools, your clinics. We sit beside you in church. Kids play together. We are part of the same community, Mr. Moore. And we are a heartbeat away from injustice reaching our customers. And no matter how we voted for, Democrat, Republican, Independent, we all deserve to be heard. We all deserve respect. And we all have the right to hold you accountable. The people in Raleigh and in Washington, they work for us, not the other way around. We pay their salary. We give them power. We give them power with our votes, and it is our right and duty to speak up when they forget that. So thank you for being here, Mr. Moore. Thank you for listening. Because what you, Mr. Moore, may call this town hall a scam, I call it democracy. I have a message for you, Mr. Moore. We will not be silent. We will not be invisible. We are here. We belong. Because that's what democracy looks like. And we are not going.
Just for our input speakers. Our input speakers. And then we'll move it.
We have a plan for how this is going to work.
We've had a request from the folks watching at home to be able to see him while folks are speaking.
Right, we're going to have them stand over here and speak. We're improvising. So this is what democracy looks like. Let's give our community impact speakers another hand. Thank you. With Democrats and what's going on. Okay. So we are going to go into everyone else who wants to have a say. Let me review the instructions again, okay, just so that in case anybody forgot. So, if you would like to make a comment, and everybody is welcome to. We're here till about 8:20. We got about over an hour. Line up on now. Come on the left side and then come up, okay? Because on this side, because we don't want you to block people so they can see you. So come up on the left side, come on over, and then in case there's some line across here. So you can start getting up. I'm going to be, so just line it up. Let's go. And raise your comments to Representative Moore, not to others in the room. It's your chance to let Representative Moore know your feelings or concerns, whatever they are. They may be positive feelings, whatever they are. We're here. This is a nonpartisan event, and everybody was invited. So regardless of how you feel, you get a chance to share. Speak your voice and respect others' voices. You have 1 to 3 minutes. Lori, wave your hand again for the signs. We time to end it. You don't have to use the full 3 minutes, don't feel that pressure. And then Lori will let you know when you have a minute and 30 seconds, at least getting to the end of the 3 minutes, okay? We can do this, right?
Yes.
All right.
We can.
Let's go. First one. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on up.
A volunteer microphone.
That was me.
Where
Sorry,
would
I
you
was
like
making
to
sure.
send?
You're great. It's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready? Okay. Hello, I'm Robin, and I'm from Cleveland County. And I have to say, Representative Moore, that I am sorry that you're not here in person. We would love to have seen you face to face, eyeball in person. Even so, I worked for 50 years and recently retired from a global corporate job where I paid into Social Security for all those years. And I have to tell you that I was very optimistic for my next chapter, but those dreams have been dashed in the last few months. They've been dashed because the financial markets are in a furor, in an uproar, day in and day out, up and down. There's no stability of decisions taking in the administration for what's going on. Tariffs on, tariffs off, what's going on, we don't know. And our reputation globally is suffering. I have contacts around the world who I worked with for many years, and they want to know what is going on in America. It's just not the America we thought we could count on. But most concerning of all to me is the potential disruption of Social Security. And I want to tell you, I'm looking around the room and people here, there are a lot of people here who are eligible for Social Security and may be receiving it. And I want to tell you that the Social Security system, the Social Security process is working. It is working. And we have grave concerns, I have grave concerns that the people in Washington are going to take away the assistance in the process. And so I want to know, what are you going to do to make sure that your constituents here in Cleveland County and in your district are not impacted by negative decisions made on Social Security? Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Moore. I tried to go to Pat Harrigan's town hall up in Hickory because I live in Hickory, but I'm in the Burke County side of Hickory, so I'm kind of in a no man's land as far as representation goes sometimes. So I wanted to ask Mr. Harrigan the same question I'm going to ask you that he did not take from me. Obviously, you're not taking it either. The company that I worked for was right across the street from Mr. Harrigan's office, and they decided last year that it would be better to send our manufacturing down to Mexico and close our facility so that 200-some people lost jobs. Okay? So this is a really boring question, and I'm like, what would you do to bring jobs to our area? I think that would be better time spent than supporting Doge getting our sensitive information. And it was better spent than trying to make it harder for women to try to vote. When we already have so if you can answer those questions for me here. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you say it again?
Hello, I'm Peter. I'm from Greer County, and I really want to encourage you, Mr. Moore, to really think about the people that are being affected by the actions of ICE. While they are easily forgotten folks, the immigrant community, including the undocumented community, are part of your constituents. They live in their county. They work hard. I've helped them file taxes as a member of the Hispanic community myself. I've seen that side of the process. They're paying into the system, and they're taking very few benefits out of it. And so it's really a tragedy that, despite all that, they're being treated as with such little human rights as ICE is treating them. I really do think that ICE performs no beneficial function to this community. Anything that it does could be handled through other processes. We have courts for immigration, and those should really be how these situations are handled, not through fear mongering that ICE creates. I think it also is a disservice to the immigrant community's ability to speak up when they do face human rights violations or unsafe work conditions. I think those are really important concerns that as humans we should care a lot about. And so I'd really like to see something done about that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Max Gray from Gaston County. Mr. Moore, I'm a veteran, as are a lot of people in this room tonight. I'm very concerned with what I'm hearing in regard to the assault on veterans' benefits, the Veterans Administration, and the general disrespect to members of the military. And my question that I have for you is just what action will you take to protect veterans' benefits and to protect our members of the military and not send them off to some needless, stupid war in the near future? Thank you.
Hi, Representative Moore. My name is Manisha Parak. I'm from Mecklenburg County. I wanted to remind you about due process. It's not mentioned once, but twice in two sentences in the Constitution, and it states basically that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. Currently, there are 238 migrants sitting in a concentration camp in El Salvador, including one of your constituents, Julio Zambrano of Davidson. And so, I wanted to remind you about the Constitution. I also wanted to remind you about the oath you took when you became a lawyer, in which you said that you would swear that you would support the Constitution of the United States. I wanted to remind you about the oath you took when you became a representative in the NC State House, that you would support the Constitution of the United States. And on January 3rd, again, you said that you solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign or domestic. So my question to you, Representative Moore, which didn't you understand, the Constitution or your oath?
Thank you, Representative Moore. My name is Dave Johnson. I'm from Charlotte. I read that your office put up a statement pointing out that this town hall was organized by left-wing radical groups. I'm a registered Republican and have been for 60 years, and I'm not a left-winger. As a reasonable, common-sense, conservative man, please consider that as you listen to my comments. In only 3 months in office, Donald Trump has changed our foreign policy so that our allies do not trust us, and we have become a pariah and joined the ranks of Russia, North Korea, Iran, etc. You agree with this policy? Why? When Donald Trump cut off funds supporting USAID, after years of supporting third world countries, millions of children now will not be able to receive life-saving vaccines in their childhood, resulting in millions of children dying. Is this Christian? Where do you stand on this? I consider myself to be an evangelical Christian, and I am dismayed by your behavior in support of Donald Trump. He is vindictive and cruel, and his actions are the antithesis of what Jesus taught and expects of us. You condone this behavior. Your silence speaks volumes. Please stand up for your constituents and represent all of us. Are you a Christian? Do you stand up for those who are less fortunate than you? Your acquiescence to the cruel policies of Donald Trump again speak volumes about your lack of courage. When do you stand up for what is right? And listening to, this is a repeat, Representative Moore, when are you going to stand up to Donald Trump and his disregard to the law? Representative Moore, I'm a Vietnam War veteran, and I'm dismayed by the cutting of funds affecting VA services. Do you approve of these cuts? Why? I deeply resent you not standing up for all these cuts. Thank you.
Mr. Moore, I do wish you were here tonight. My name is Karen Hinkley. I'm a lawyer in Gaston County. I'm not from North Carolina, but I've been practicing law here now for about 7 years. I'm here tonight with the person who I plan to celebrate my marriage to on May 22nd. But we were legally married on April 2nd in Mecklenburg County for a few reasons. We wanted to wait and be treated like other couples when we got to May. We also hoped to change her name, but to something new. That's not her name or my name, but something we've created together. And in order to do that, we need to go first to the court system with a lot of paperwork, and then to the Social Security Agency, and then to the North Carolina DMV, and then we have to apply for new passports. And right now, there's legislators in Congress that want to require a passport in order to vote, and we care a lot about our local politics. And we have an election coming up this year that means a lot in the city of Belmont, and we want to be able to vote. And we also want to visit family that I have in the UK for Christmas, and we want to be able to go, but more than anything, we're terrified of the thought that we might have to send this administration our passport and wait for some period of time to get a new one back, and maybe we couldn't leave our own country if it became unsafe for us here. So on May 22nd, we'll celebrate our marriage the way that we would have chosen to, but on April 2nd, we went before a Mecklenburg County magistrate with the last 20-minute appointment available for a 6-week period to get legally married. And it took for us to be able to get married in this state, and I learned that the constitutional amendment, the last one that was ever passed in the United States, the last one to pass in a former Confederate state, was passed as a result of a vote that took place during a primary election, during a year where the incumbent president was a Democrat, and Democratic voters had less reason to show up. And you had been trying to get this passed along with your Republican colleagues for many years. It turns out that we used to have Democratic representation in this state. It was 2010 where it all changed. I learned this as somebody that's new here. I had Texas history in my public school. But as soon as you took power, you put through a constitutional amendment to try to prevent us from ever marrying. And you were the last state to do it. And you did it in a primary. And this is why I'm an unaffiliated voter, because I can vote in your primaries and change is coming.
I live in Gaston County. I just want to say congratulations. Only took you 2 or 3 times to get the district gerrymander to exactly the way it needed so you could actually win. I will also say that although you got Judge Jackson kicked out of the House, we got him as Attorney General. So throughout history, tariffs have been recognized as an inferred tax on constituents due to the fact that corporations pass those costs on to consumers. Congress has the power to put an end to this nonsense. When do you and your colleagues intend to act on this?
Hello, Representative Moore once again. My name is Brenda Estridge, and I am a resident of Gaston County. And I wanted to ask how you align with the current administration's take on DEI and the dismantling of it. And I just wanted to point out to you that DEI is not a one-size-fits-all approach. But I'll just say, to elaborate, diversity refers to the presence of various characteristics and attributes within a group or organization. So that can include race, age, gender, ability, socioeconomic background. So it's also about equity, which focuses on fairness and ensuring that everyone has what they need. I've been in healthcare for many years, and I've never seen a patient with anything but red blood. And so we all bleed red, but we are different. And the dismantling of DEI initiative shows that you don't care about difference. Your constituents and your colleagues only care about people that look and walk and talk like you. Now, you're getting up there in age, Mr. Moore, and so you want us to discriminate against you based on your age. Inclusion creates an environment where all individuals feel welcome, respected, and valued for the unique contributions that they bring to the table. So again, I want to know how you align, and if you do not align with the current administration, what are you going to do to stand up against it, specifically in Gaston County, because we are losing programs that fall under DEI initiatives, and overall for North Carolina, because all people matter.
My name is Bill Allison. I live in Cleveland County. I don't have any written remarks, so please bear with me. Depending on the time you leave, I have several concerns. One of them is the assault by the executive branch on the floor of the state, the media. Right now, lies are free on the internet, and the truth is behind a paywall. And we need to do something about that because I'm so sick of lies. I'm so sick of people believing it. And I want to know what you're going to do because there are so many people in this world that are being misled. The other thing, I echo several people that have been here. I'm a veteran. That was another lifetime. Gives me a 10% discount low. As a veteran, I'm appalled by what is going on with the veterans of the VA administration, just as others have mentioned tonight. But the thing as a citizen of this country that has terrified me is the images of masked agents with no badge and no warrant. And somebody else has already mentioned the lack of due process. Beating out windshields of cars with sledgehammers and dragging people out of them with no warrant and making them disappear. That has got to stop in our country. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. My name is Mike Weiner. I'm from Belmont, also a veteran. I'm really getting tired of watching every aspect of our government get ripped apart by an unelected group people's private info is getting compromised by people who are not vetted. And there's all kinds of things going on, but I want to touch on the attack on Social Security. Spousal benefits could be affected drastically by this. When one of the spouses die, these benefits kick in. Co-President Musk wants to eliminate the Social Security number upon the death of any individual. That would end the spousal benefits. These are the kind of things that you, Congressman, and all of your colleagues need to stand up and take care of. It is your job to take care of the Constitution and make sure that your branch of the government does its job. You're not doing your job. You need to stand up in other than cardboard form. And with this efficiency, I know not a lot of people don't like the IRS anyway, but last year when I filed my taxes, I saw when they received it with the postal tracking, 2 weeks later, the refund was in my checking account. This year, it's 6 weeks since the IRS received it. I guess this is what efficiency is. I'm not even sure I'm going to get it now with this guy running this show. You and your colleagues need to stand up and stop all of the things that are going on. Do your job. The money that is that you're supposed to have, the money that was allocated by your laws passed, signed by presidents, that money is still your responsibility. It is not the unelected co-president Musk's responsibility. Do your job. Stand up and get your colleagues to join you. Stand up for what's right in the Constitution.
Hi, Mrs. Moore. My name is Ashley. I'm from Cleveland County. I want to know, do you think you're setting a good example for our children? Can you look them in the eye and tell them you're proud of the side of history you are on? I dream of a world where no one cares that my son is autistic. A world where they include him and accommodate him because it's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter why he has autism. He's still a person who loves everyone and has a better sense of right and wrong than you do.
Yeah.
Cutting DEI and cutting Medicaid does nothing but hurt our children, and as a mother, I just want to know why. I was taught since a little girl with liberty and justice for all, not just a select few. Thank you.
I'm Representative Moore. I am one of the radical liberals that you said was going to be. I wouldn't call myself radical until all of this crap started. I would just said I was liberal because I cared about people. But I worked in education most of my life with children that were on the special needs part of the world, and definitely feel for the cuts that are going to come their way. But I wanted to talk to you mostly about my daughter, who has a PhD in anthropology and works for the DOE, and she worked on programs to give communities a chance to have equitable energy and develop their own programs. And the money was allocated, but it's going to be cut. And she was given a buyout, and they told her that if she didn't go, her program is going to be cut anyway. So she did, and she'll go into the private sector, hopefully find a job somewhere and land okay. But it hurts because she cares about people, the environment, social justice, and you obviously don't. I also wanted to say that I have 3 family members that are trans. They don't hurt anybody. They love I read your newsletters. I don't like them, but I read them.
Can you hear me now? Beth Thompson. I live in Gaston County in Belmont. I come from I'm an unapologetic liberal Democrat, but I come from a long line of conservative Republicans, and I think they will be disappointed in how money is being spent and how our tax policies benefit the top echelon, and it's only getting worse. And I'm wondering when you're going to develop a spine and stand up for what are supposed to be Republican values of fiscal conservatism. If we just have the oligarchs to pay their fair share of taxes, that will go a long way. But I have to say that my primary concern, my biggest overarching concern, is for the environment. If we don't, our world is burning up, and we are being buffeted constantly by climate change, which our president denies even is a problem or even exists. I want to know when you and others in Congress are going to develop a spine and stand up for science. And I mean, I feel like we are being dragged back to earlier centuries when people didn't know science. I mean, we know things now. We need to act on science and continue to do research. And I'm just so distressed by what's going on with the environment and continued destruction of it. So that's it. I want to know what you're going to do.
Hi, Mr. Moore. My name is Lauren Students. I live in Gaston County. Really wish you would have been here today so that you could stop calling me a paid protester and a performative person. I live in New County. I would call on my elders to not yell about the things that you honestly don't care about. There's so many things and issues I could talk to you about, but I have noticed that you do not miss a photo op when it comes to the survivors of Hurricane Helene. And I wanted to ask you about your opinion that I guess 10 days ago, FEMA denied North Carolina's request to extend reimbursement for survivors of the Helene disaster, and you have been real quiet about that. So I really wish you were here so that you could give your thoughts on that and why that's appropriate for your state and your constituents. Thank you.
Good evening, Representative Moore. My name is Mark. I'm from Charlotte. And I wanted to let you know that I religiously read your newsletters that you send out by email. There isn't too much I like that's in those newsletters, but I do read them. You talk about bills that you're so proud of that you co-sponsor, but to be honest, and I can't think of a nicer way to say this, but it's really Mickey Mouse stuff compared to all the issues that have come up. In less than 3 minutes, let me talk about the two things I noticed in your newsletters that really disturbed me. One is that you support the DOGE cuts in the federal employees. I just don't understand how you can do that. I'm not saying that there might be room for, trimming the fat, as they say, but we all know that DOGE is doing this without thought and without due process. The second item is that also what you support, you talk about how proud you are of supporting the Tax Act and the SAVE Act. And you mentioned specifically the great tax cuts that will be coming to the middle class and small business. You and I both know that yes, technically there'll be tax cuts to small business in the middle and lower class, but it's peanuts compared to the tax cuts that millionaires, billionaires,
Representative
so sorry you haven't been here tonight. My name is Susan Johnson, and I'm from Mecklenburg County. And these people are not radical or out of their minds. There are some people in Washington who are out of their minds. My concern is all of the things that have been expressed here tonight. But one thing I haven't heard about is health. We are a less healthy country than we were January 19, 2025. And Robert Kennedy Jr. is making a mockery of the department that he heads. It is very important that you stand up for NIH, CDC. It's ridiculous. Now we're going to find out in September what causes autism. That's ridiculous, actually. And I want you to stop just letting these things go. I want you to stand up and say you are for a healthy United States, not all of the things that are happening. Doing away with all sorts of things that keep us healthy. We need regulation. I know that's a bad word, but we do need regulation to keep us healthy. And I expect you to stand up for us.
Thank you. Representative Moore, my name is Janice Robinson. I'm from Mecklenburg County. At 3 a.m. this morning, I caught Ted Koppel's CBS piece on the impact of the cuts to USAID. It was horrifying to hear how life-saving pace that has saved lives of starving children in some of the poorest parts of the world is being defunded. How clinics where one doctor sees 130 poor patients a day in one of the poorest parts of the world will probably have to close its doors. What the hell are we doing? Measles are on the rise in America. What the hell are we doing? Thousands of people who serve us as workers in our federal government are being thrown out of their jobs. Jobs we need them to do to provide us the services we need and have agreed to fund with our collective tax dollars. What the hell are we doing? Citizens at retirement age like me are watching our hard-earned savings decimated in the stock market and the Social Security money we paid, in threat of being stolen by politicians who want to give billions of tax dollars to the rich who don't need it. What the hell are we doing? Representative Moore, you are my representative. And even if you didn't get my vote, you are still my representative. You took an oath to serve the people. I am the people. We are the people. Moore, to take my voice and our voices to the Trump administration and the other electors in D.C. so they too can hear our voices.
Tim, we've met a few times. I'm Kate Barr from Mecklenburg County, and I'm your constituent. Reluctantly, your constituent. Our Constitution doesn't start we the people in power. It doesn't start we the billionaires. It doesn't start we the people. It starts we the people. Because we the people should be choosing who represent us. So I'm asking you to bring fair maps to our country. In this country, more than 70% of our races go uncontested. That doesn't even include the races that are happening but are completely uncompetitive. An uncontested race is a coronation, it's not an election. In our state, we vote purple. We are practically 50-50. Just ask Justice Allison Riggs. And yet, the legislative maps that you drew, out of 170 state legislative races, barely a dozen are competitive. That's because of gerrymandering. We all know it. We know it. Politicians, yourself in particular, have drawn your district to ensure that you will keep your power. And that means you don't have to listen to voters like us. So you can dodge a town hall held in your very own town, in your literal backyard, because you drew your district to ensure that you could ignore us.
Preach.
And as I sit here tonight and I watch people you are meant to represent speak to a cardboard cutout because you could not deign to be here with us tonight, I can't help but think that if this district was competitive, you would be here. And you should be here. Because we are your constituents, whether you like us or not. Your job is to serve us. And I, for one, feel drastically underserved. All right, so my name is Sydney Hutchinson. I live in Gaston County and represent Moore. I am one of your constituents. And I'm going to speak to two things tonight about the two questions I have for you. I work as a paralegal every day. I'm dealing with people that have been injured in car accidents, family members that have lost somebody because of somebody else's, DUIs, things like that. I deal also with veterans that are getting their care through the VA. I've been dealing with this for years. I know the VA system. Things are getting better. People were getting them into their appointments in a reasonable amount of time. They weren't having to wait months. So my question to you is, why are you punishing veterans? Why aren't you doing your job and making sure that our commitment, when they sign up and they go and sacrifice their lives, that they come home and have health care? It's not that My second issue is Western North Carolina. Basically, your whole district was declared a federal disaster zone. And you are just conveniently absent when FEMA's cutting off the funding, Trump doesn't seem to care anymore, your friends in the state legislature also seem to not care too much either. What are you going to do to actually help people in your district? These are the people you represent. They don't have jobs, they're going to leave the state, and you're going to lose this whole area where we should have a thriving economy because you guys step up and do your damn jobs. And I'm frankly sick of it. So my questions to you are, fix it, do something, anything, and I don't know, respond to us. I'm so sick of you not responding. Have your office respond, and don't send me some form letter either, where you change the subject, because that's really annoying as well. So I would like a real response from you, Representative Moore. Thank you.
Hello, Representative Moore. My name is Justin Matthews. Again, I was born and raised in Cleveland County. My question is, we have seen over the last few months a lot of containment and security issues dealing with sensitive information and classified documents being leaked out into group chats. What would you do, or why aren't you doing anything about someone like Pete Hegseth, who has had a blatant disregard for the normal procedures and policies that keep United States information not only classified but also safe and secure from our enemies? It is concerning to me that we have just turned a blind eye, because apparently Trump is signing off on these things, and apparently if Trump does it, it's the best thing ever, which it's not, Representative Moore. There are so many people here tonight that you have heard from, and it is a real shame that you didn't come to this event. It's honestly ridiculous that we have to stand here and talk to a cardboard cutout. You should have been here, Representative Moore.
Representative Moore, my name's Lori Downey, I live in Huntersville, and I'm now one of your constituents, which I'm not real happy about, because you're ignoring me, most likely because I'm not a Republican, but I am one of your constituents. But my question for you tonight is, why are you so afraid of voters? Why are you scared of people voting? I feel like you're doing everything you can to suppress the vote. Please show us a receipt of the voter fraud. Give us an example of this rampant voter fraud that's happening, which is causing you to want to pass things like the SAVE Act, which we know is just a voter suppression bill, and it's going to, frankly, discriminate against women and others, but especially women, because we will have to take steps that men don't have to do. So I really would love just one or two examples of this rampant voter fraud that is driving your narrative and forcing you guys to pass these absolutely heinous voter suppression rules. So show us the receipts.
With that said, I don't see anyone else who's standing. If you would like a chance to speak or have your questions or concerns addressed, please do so now.
I'd like to.
And anybody else who wanna, we still got time, so if you're a little shy, definitely get in line and come up.
And I didn't get in line, I'm sorry, and I'm a school teacher and I know better. Hello, Tim. This is Betsy Wells, your former high school drama teacher. Constituents that if you had been here, you would have found to be very interesting, and they would have been very respectful, and I know you would have been back to them. I have known you all these years, your family, I've taught you and your sister, and I felt like that you would come tonight, because you usually don't shy away from an opportunity in order to express your views. When you were elected to Congress, the people in Kings Mountain were very pleased. We've never had a congressman from Kings Mountain, or a congresswoman either. But Tim, I'm not too happy with what you've done when you go to Washington. I don't know if they passed out the Kool-Aid, but you don't seem to be voting what you truly believe. I've known you for years. I know that you are a Republican, and you used to be a Democrat, but you changed. And I pray for you nightly about that. Anyway, Tim, I want you to get down into your conscience, and I appeal to your better angels to stand up. You got backbone. We've seen it. You don't have to go along with what Donald Trump says all the time. You do not need to not support the Constitution.
That's right.
So this is for many years, and I hope to know you for many more. But I'm appealing to you, Tim, to do a better job than you've done so far.
She's right there coming for you.
We have time for more. Anybody still thinking about coming up? Feeling a little shy, feeling a little inspired? Anybody else? Anybody else? There's Julie Alpha, there's Julie.
Anyone at all? Anybody going once, going twice? We're at an auction now. Come on.
Okay. All right. Wow. Thank you for everyone who shared. Thank you for those who wanted to share, but for whatever reason, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. We are going to be sending this video to Representative Moore. What do you do with it? I don't know, but it won't be nothing yet. And my fellow
moderator now, we're gonna wrap it up, so we get to go and maybe, get there early. Okay?
Sounds like a plan.
So, let's see, first of all, those who helped plan, when we decided that, okay, wow, we need to do this, and so I just put out the call for anybody in every one of the counties who could help. And people raised their hand, and so I want all of those on the planning team, because I want you to see who we all are. So if you're on the planning team, kind of come up nearby, stand with us, and we're going to get a picture later. But I want you to see who these folks are. Hold up here, girl. Anybody else, when they say anybody else from the planning team? Y'all, we got on Zoom. We're on Zoom every Monday at 10 a.m. for, me and Cindy got about 3 months, but it's been just about 3 weeks. And we pulled this together. And so I just want to thank you all for answering the call, and just some brilliant people. We pulled this together in really less than 3 weeks. And so, but we felt like it was right for everyone who wanted to have a chance to make their voices heard. That's important. So never stop making your voices heard. So thank you, planning team. We'll get a little group photo later. We'll hold up the crowd. Thank you, Janet.
All right, y'all. So any questions that you did not have time for tonight will be forwarded over to Moore's office, Representative Moore's office. And of course, all those index cards that you filled out, those will also be forwarded over to Tim Moore's office. So thank you for participating. I want to take just a moment here to encourage you to remain involved and active at any level that you feel comfortable in being active at, because y'all, I know this is a cliche that a lot of people say all the time, but we really are in this together. And no matter what happens tomorrow or the next day or 3 months from now, we as the constituents of Representative Moore and as the constituents of any other politician in office, and indeed as the constituents of Donald Trump, still have a responsibility, and we have to see this thing through together, because it impacts all of us in some way or another. We all have a stake in this. So please, please, please stay involved any way that you can, any way that you are comfortable in doing so.
And lastly, just a special thanks to the community impact speakers. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing. I want to thank Molly and the grand staff. They were wonderful. This is a wonderful place. I drove up and I thought, oh my God, this is so nice. I will be coming back. We're going to have some events there. I also want to thank the security officers. There's one outside, one was inside too. So wherever he is, we want to thank the security officers for being here. And just lastly, again, I just want to thank you all. We want to thank you all for coming out and participating in the civic engagement. This is what it's all about. So thank you so much. And so that's all we have for you tonight. And if you want to, we have an email sign-up list if you want to kind of get an email follow-up. If you sign up, we have your information. But anyway, so thank you very much. Y'all have a good evening, and so we'll see you next time.